Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the July 8th City Council meeting, and let's please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to start. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, for the record, all council members are here. Jason Atherton is present by Zoom, correct?
Correct.
Is that what it's called? Okay.
Yep.
And Jason, are you hearing us now? No.
He is muted. Let's see.
Okay. So we'll wait until he's set up.
Well, he should be.
Hang on. Okay, now let's see if he can hear us.
Jason, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's what we were checking on.
All right, we just finished with Pledge of Allegiance and roll call, and we're moving on to the consent agenda, which includes approval of minutes of the June 24th, 2024 meeting, approval of bills and claims, and we had no licenses and permits this week, so that's all we have is those two items. Is there any questions about that? If none, you want to make some? All right, second. Tom and Laverne seconded the motion to approve. Roll call vote, please.
Bauer?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Trett? Yes. Atherton?
Yes.
Coordinaro?
Yes.
Dirk?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
Okay, are there any oral requests from the audience here this evening? If anyone would like to speak about anything that is not on the agenda this evening?
I think I would.
Okay, all right, come on up, state your name, your address, and we'll give you 5 minutes.
How's everybody doing tonight? I'm Chad Kirkhoff. I'm owner of Kirkhoff Craftsman. My wife, Michelle Kirkhoff's back there. Together, we own the company together. We kind of wanted to talk to you guys about the lots that we got going, or you're thinking about doing, or out by the golf course out there. I'm not sure if it is a go, if it isn't a go, but I kind of just wanted to give maybe a few comments quick about people that we meet with all the time in our meetings. I kind of made a little list here of different things. I would say Michelle and I probably have a meeting, I would say every other month on people wanting to build a home. Every single meeting that we have, what people say is there is nowhere in Carroll to build. There's nowhere outside of Carroll to build because we got to do the 5, 10 acres or whatever that rule is. But, you know, Deer Creek is full pretty much, up behind Fairway. I mean, it's getting there. But it seems like the people that we work with, they're people that want to spend $700 million on a house, but they're not coming here because we have nowhere to build them for them. As of right now, we are literally booked out, Kirkhoff Craftsman, on new homes, and these are neat homes that the community would love to have, something the community could be very proud of. But as of right now, we're booked out until 2028 on new homes, and not a single one is going to get built in Carroll, which I think is really sad. We haven't built a house in Carroll since 2019, and that was for Josh and Katie Lair. Everywhere we're building is outside of town, and I just feel like we are really, really missing out. So I just thought I'd kind of talk to you guys, and you know, if somebody is on the fence on doing those lots out there, I mean, it would be awesome if we could get something like that to go through. I think as of right now, we got someone that would definitely buy a lot today if you guys had this done, and we could build on that lot in 2026. I just got to talk to another couple that are really on the fence. They want to build in Carroll, but they have nowhere to build. And so I think if we kind of talked to them and said, hey, you know, this is going to go through, I would assume that we'd be able to build a house there, and that's something I could start next year already. So in the next year or two, I could already get 2 houses up on them lots for you guys. And it's like anything, you get it started, it's just gonna roll. I just feel like once we get a couple houses out there, a couple of really cool houses that, you know, it's just gonna keep going and going and going. The lots are gonna be filled up in no time for you. I realize you gotta spend a lot of money, to get this to go through. I don't know the exact number, if it's 2 million, 4 million, 5 million, I don't know. The problem that we have around here is there's no builder that's got that kind of money in their pocket, you know, to invest in this. You know, we're not in Des Moines, Iowa, where, you know, where there's these big investors and they can go out and do this kind of stuff. We just can't. And so I guess what I'm getting at is it would just be really nice that he could, you know, step up, get it done so we can start building some cool houses on the golf course out there. I mean, it's perfect advertising for the city. You get everyone from out of town golfing out there. I just think it'd be a great thing.
Kevin, you talk about development, say purchasing, you know, parcel of ground. I'm totally with you. You know, if a builder or developer wants to come in and buy something, currently right now they are putting all the infrastructure in up front. There may be a rebate program that's out there, but the cash flow definitely makes a difference on
Oh, yeah.
making that work or not.
Right.
I think it's pretty evident because we don't have people as developers and builders flocking here because of that reason.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess I would challenge you to find a builder that has the capital to be able to flow it, because I think it is a great idea. I just don't think it's a great idea of $2 million of taxpayer dollars for 9 homes.
Right.
I agree that it's a good idea. So I mean, I urge you. You're in this industry, and I assume if you're as excited as it is as you are, and it makes sense, there should be somebody out there that can cash flow this to make a profit off of
Right,
it.
right. But I guess what I'm getting at is the amount of money you guys can make off one of my homes on taxes is gonna pay for these lots. Oh, there you are, sorry. The amount of money you guys can make off these homes that we're gonna put up out there, I mean, it's gonna pay for these lots in 10, 15 years. It's just, to me, it just seems like a no-brainer for the community.
10 or 15 years it'll pay off?
Yeah,
It'll pay off the $2 million in 10 or 15 years?
yeah, if you fill up all the houses or all the lots with them houses, you'd have
Well,
it,
at the current rate, you only brought up 2 houses, so at that rate, it's cost 10 or 15 years. It's actually gonna cost me, it's gonna take me 60 years at that rate. Just on the 2 that you have, if they don't fill up.
right, but it'll fill up. I mean, there's, like I said, I mean, we have,
Do you have a guarantee that it will fill up on what's, I guess, do you want to guarantee that it will fill up, or?
I don't know, I don't mind sticking my neck out. I always do.
Well, it's $2 million that the taxpayers' money, and I just don't feel the taxpayers are willing to stick their neck on the line on a maybe or hope
Right.
that we get 10 or 15 year payback on $2 million. I know that if I was in this situation, very high risk, just on a hearsay, if it was my $2 million. As I
Right.
assume that builders feel the same way, is why they're not jumping down the hook to do this.
No,
Ted, thanks
Chad.
for your perspective here. Appreciate that.
I want to just add something and ask Aaron to follow up. Now, Chad, I really appreciate your comments and respect. You know your business better than I do, and this has really helped. And we're going to be issuing, and Aaron can speak to this, a request for proposals. Nothing is carved in stone yet on how this is going to play out.
right.
And Aaron, do you want to speak to that? You're about the,
Yeah, we will have an RFP for the 9 lots that we just platted. Obviously, our first preference would be a developer buy it and then help us and work with the infrastructure and stuff like that so that the city isn't coughing up
The whole bill.
Correct.
Right.
But we haven't done that yet. One of the reasons is I'm going to go present to Thriving, or the Iowa Economic Development Authority tomorrow. Hopefully, we can get the Thriving Communities designation, which allows another avenue to help make ends meet.
All towns around Carroll are doing.
Yes, which would help with the tax credits and help builders make ends meet.
Right.
My question to you is, if the city were to do something else, other not necessarily this golf course project, but another project, what size lots are you saying we need to have?
I mean, it seems like people would love to have like an acre lot.
Okay,
Most people that come in, they want 5 acres, but I do think like an acre lot would be, I mean, people would just eat them up in a heartbeat. But I know, you're sitting there putting that infrastructure in, you're trying to get as much bang out of your buck as you possibly can, so you're gonna make the lots, the sizes so you can fit as many in as possible. But I mean, acre lots would be like amazing for people, I feel like.
okay.
Hey, Chad, this is Jason again, and by no means, my comment didn't mean to be disrespectful, anything else like that. There's two sides of a coin, if that makes sense.
Right. No, I understand.
So there, sometimes people love to make it like I'm not being disrespectful. I have more respect for you and your wife. I've dealt with them when I was doing my house and stuff of that nature.
Right.
I think you're somewhat familiar with me. So no means did I mean to be disrespectful to you.
Nope, I understand.
Yeah, and I appreciate what you do, and I think you do a phenomenal job as well.
Thank you.
Sometimes we like to spin things that it has nothing to do against you, your work, your company, or your
Right.
profession.
Nope, I appreciate that, thanks.
So these lots that you're talking, you had possibilities, are those the 4 bigger ones that you're looking at?
Seems like everyone wants the ones to the south.
Those are the
Those
4 bigger ones.
All right.
Of
Yes,
course.
the answer to that question is yes.
So the other question, if we show that there is possibilities of this, right now, we're only looking at, you're saying 2, but if we made it out there that, we have if there's enough interest, we could probably go forward with this. Would that help with the interest that you would be hearing, or the people you're talking to is, the city, if we get enough people interested?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean,
You're thinking you can get all 9 lots filled?
I don't think there'd be a problem with that at all. Do you, Michelle?
We've just had 2 other people that ended up, they couldn't find houses in Carroll. I don't know if they took jobs they were jobs at the hospital. They were gonna move to town. One was from Minnesota.
It just
And they
seems like
couldn't find a
we're,
lot. And then
Yeah.
Chad and I feel like we're calling people like, hey, do you wanna sell land? Like, I don't know why, it shouldn't be,
Yeah.
Okay.
we're always doing this.
I feel like I'm a realtor anymore.
But you know where I'm getting at is if we had a chance to know that we have a majority of these
Yeah.
are potentially sold, that would be easier
I don't
for
think
us to
there-
make a decision.
I really don't think you guys are gonna have any problem at all. I really don't. Actually, it's probably the first time I've been out golfing in like 3 years. I took my little girls there yesterday just so I could kind of check things out. I mean, I was just looking at the lay of the land there and everything. I mean, it would be beautiful to build the houses in there. It's a sweet spot.
I have to agree with you. I don't think they would take long to fill up. What's disappointing is when we started this venture, we started off with, even before platting, we were looking at no curbs, getting all the infrastructure in, and it was around $700,000. Then we went around and we said, hey, let's do curbs, which I could have flipped a coin at the time and went without curbs, but it was 1.2 or something like that. And now we're all the way up into the high 2s.
Right.
And I don't understand how this progressed so much.
I don't think it's high 2s, but yeah, it's 2 million.
2 million.
Because, and the reason for that is because of the depth and the soil of the lift station, where the lift station would have to be. The lift station's the big issue there.
And how do we get around that and find?
We don't.
Do you bid it out to different people?
Well, if, you could have developers put stuff like that in, but it's still gonna cost a pretty penny for a developer to do it.
Do we back off the curbs and say let's just be like the other side of the street? I mean, because in all honesty, they've lived with it for this long, and I've talked to the people over there, and they're like, they're fine with it. But I don't understand why if a curb is almost doubling the cost of the whole project, why would we?
Curb's
muddle it?
not. We could put a smaller lift station in, which would just serve those 9 lots. But if you do that, then you're stuck with that size of lift station and you can't expand further from there.
Currently,
And
we don't have a place to expand, right? So why would we try to build something bigger that is going to expand?
I would.
Just asking.
I understand the comment, but I would tell you that there are possibilities to expand and there could be further expansion. You don't want to, as a city planner, you don't want to hamstring yourself to say, well, we can't go any further because our infrastructure can't go any further. You don't want to do
Chad,
that.
when that request for proposal comes out, if you can find a way that this thing is paid off and you said 10 to 15, I'll give you 12 and a half and all 9 are full. I mean, I would put that into your proposal and you know what I mean? And we'll look at that.
Okay, I don't know if you can tell us, what kind of dollar figures are you thinking you're hearing for these lots? Is that something you can expose to us?
Oh, how
or-
much?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think anyone, I hate to say it, would blink an eye at 150, 175, you know? It seems like a lot of our clients, that's what they're spending to buy 5 acres,
okay.
cause you can't get it, so.
Okay.
What about the 5 smaller ones?
5 smaller ones, I would say if you're around that, 125 mark, I don't think I don't think that'd be out of line at all.
That helps, thank you.
Chad, one last question.
But don't hold me to that, you know?
No, we're not gonna, no, you're fine.
Too late.
So I don't want you guys hunting me down
Chad said-
tomorrow.
We wanted you to say 2 million. The one thing I wanna know is, you mentioned that people are going to other communities. What communities are you talking about, in the county, or away from here?
So I mean, as of lately, I mean, we still are doing a lot of work around Carroll, but it's all outside of Carroll. We seem to be doing, you know, like we built Sean and Carly Quam's house right out by Swan Lake. Abraham's house we're building right now out by Swan Lake. We do a lot out by the airport out there. So I mean, it's not like we're not here. It's just
Not city.
Not in city
it's
limits.
just not city limits. And I just like I said, I feel like we're just really missing out on some great people. So.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I've always been.
And not only that, but people that would also, you know, the people that we're working with are people that are gonna end up in the long run, probably be bringing more jobs in the community. You know, it seems like it's people that are running a business, own a business, a doctor. I mean, the Carroll Hospital does an amazing job getting doctors into town. But I would assume that their big, thing is too, that they're having a hard time pulling these doctors in because there's nowhere for them to build, there's nothing for them to buy. So,
I think it goes both ways, you know, yeah, we look at the cost of the infrastructure, what it costs to get put in, but what does it cost a business or the community by not having some of those things, you know?
right,
Say the hospital, yeah,
it just.
turnover on doctors or recruitment, I mean.
Right, I just feel like it's, these people that we're trying to bring on are gonna be an asset to the community, it's, you know.
I will tell you, the CEO at the hospital has said that multiple times.
He has.
They have lost doctors because they don't have housing.
Yeah, because I think it was Memorial Weekend, I had a doctor call and we missed out on them because they couldn't find a place. And you know, I'm not up here to try to, you know, for me to get business. I got more than enough business. Like I said, I just feel like Carroll is really starting to lose out a lot. Especially, you know, since we haven't built anything here, like I said, for quite a few years now, so.
Well, it's within the city limits, there's only like 30 empty lots available, and then
Yeah.
there's nothing after that.
Right,
So that's, you know, that's
right,
a couple of years more. If people wanna
full.
build, there's nowhere to build.
right. And, you know, if we had the time, we would put up some houses, that people, you know, that doctors could come in and buy and stuff, but I'm like everyone else, I can't find the help. I'm too particular who I got, working for me, and, I mean, if we had the time, if I had 3 more Chads and 3 more Michelles, I mean, we'd go in there and I'd put spec houses up on the golf course tomorrow, cause I know they'd be sold, so. It's just, there's only so much we can do.
Okay, well, we appreciate you coming out.
Thanks, Chad.
Thanks, thank you guys.
I'll reach out to you just to let you know where we're at and stuff, so
Yeah, that'd
you
be
and I can
awesome.
have a dialogue.
That'd be great, so.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you guys so much.
Thanks.
Okay. Move on to ordinances now, please. The first one is rezoning of of lots 12 and 13, Block 5, Highland Park Addition, second reading, and Aaron.
As of right now, we haven't had any additional comments from the last council meeting. Again, rezoning 2 lots from R2 to R5 so that there can be a triplex built on the corner lots there at, I think at 13th and Quint.
Okay, anyone else have any comments or anything to say about this? I think I would look then for to consider a motion to accept the second reading and waive the third reading.
So moved.
You're comfortable with that? No, Tom moved that,
Second.
and JJ seconded it. And a roll call vote on that, please.
Atherton? Jason?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Warnero?
Yes.
Bauer?
Yes.
Shrek? Yes. Dirks?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
All right, and probably a motion to accept then, please, Jim.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so we had
Laverne and Carroll.
Laverne and Carroll. Roll call vote, please.
Dirks?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Shrek?
Yes.
Bauer?
Yes.
Warnero?
Yes.
Atherton?
Yes.
Ordinance is adopted.
All right, thank you. The next ordinance is amendment to City Code Chapter 170.33, Special Provisions and First Reading. And Dan.
Thank you, Mayor Council. Getting back from the last meeting, we went back through and made a few of those changes. Again, sent it off to Dave Bruner to have him read it, and then we rewrote the ordinance to kind of fulfill what everybody was asking. Just a few bit of the verbiages to go with it. You want me to read through that? I will. Or is everybody comfortable with it?
Yep.
I'm good.
With that, just the recommendation before the mayor and the council, discussion and consideration of the first reading of the attached ordinance, amending the code and the ordinance of City of Carroll by adding the E materials permitted it to 170.33, a special provisions section on chapter 170 of the zoning regulation.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Seaman?
Yes.
Atherton?
Yes.
Warnero?
Yes.
Dirks?
Yes.
Bauer?
Yes.
Shrek?
Yes.
Motion is approved.
All right, move on to resolutions. There's one resolution, that is fixing the date for a public hearing on the proposal to enter into a development agreement with Ziegler Carroll LLC.
Yes, we've worked with our attorney from Allers and Cooney to draw up an agreement or a development agreement with Ziegler Caterpillar that would allow us to utilize the TIF increment to extend our water and service lines to the development, and then they are actually going to extend the service lines from our corner to the west corner of their property at their expense. So we need to set a public hearing to accept the development agreement at the next council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All right, that was Tom and Kyle, I believe.
Yes.
And roll call vote, please.
Warnero?
Yes.
Shrek?
Yes.
Dirks?
Yes.
Atherton?
Yes.
Seaman?
Yes.
Bauer?
Yes.
Resolution is approved.
Okay, that's the last of the resolutions. We move on to reports. We have one, CBD street resurfacing 2024 Great Western parking lot. And we'll go with Aaron. I see
Yep.
Randy's
on vacation this week. In his memo, he talks about the difference between full depth concrete patching and then asphalt overlay over top of the patching. The full depth PC concrete patching cost would be about $44,000. The asphalt overlay would then be $91,400. In the positives and negatives, obviously the PC patching, continued service of sound existing concrete paving, option for staged construction to minimize user inconvenience, and it's a lower cost. The asphalt overlay would give us a uniform appearance because the north and south streets will be overlaid also. Additional strength added to the paving sections. Concrete, as you all know, lasts longer than asphalt overlay, but an asphalt overlay in a parking lot like this, I did not ask Randy this, but I would guess would last 15 to 20 years, in my experience. I could be wrong, but I think that an asphalt overlay would last quite a long time. They're with a large open, going on to the disadvantages, non-uniform patching appearance. Some of that gets taken care of over time as you push the snow off of it, scrape it. That does help it. The overlay disadvantages, the acceleration of the concrete deterioration. The parking lot will be closed for a minimum of a couple days while they do the overlay. Strength addition to paving section, not necessarily based on current performance, and then of course the higher cost. So we're looking at direction. This will be added on to the project of the overlay project in the downtown business district and will be funded through our urban renewal area. We need to give us the direction
Are you happy
to
with that,
agree.
Tom?
Go ahead, Jason.
Sorry, I talked over you, Jason.
Oh, yeah. Are you happy with that, Tom? I know that's kind of your baby.
The asphalt overlay, yeah. I would be.
Okay.
So I just figured it out. It's $2,300 a year for the next 20 years extra to have it look nice compared to patching.
I think it's important to note too, with the concrete patching, that only covers roughly 10%. So, I mean, if
Okay.
we did all that, that would be much more. And then how many years before we spend another 44,000 on the next 10% or so? So,
I agree.
Yeah. No point in spending, excuse me, 91,000 when 90% of the lot is sound, according to Randy. Only 10%.
So you would just want to patch it?
Yeah,
No, so have you
Yeah.
gone over there and walked on it? Have you
Yeah,
physically looked at it?
yep, I have, yeah.
I disagree with you strongly. I mean, unfortunately, but I'd go with the asphalt overlay all day
Excuse me.
long. So if
And
you
that's
go and look
because
at
of appearances, what you're.
all of the above and safety, if you go over there right now and even just try to walk in it, I don't know who did it or pointed out where they were supposed to even patch stuff. They left half the other broken patches off and everything like that. I mean, if you'd want to meet over there, we could gladly meet over there and everybody as one unit look at it rather than just guess. But it's an ankle breaker. And it's also a giant pond when it comes to trying to go to work every morning when it rains. So, but
I'm ready to vote on it.
Any other discussion? No? Okay. Anyone want to make the motion?
I'll make the motion to asphalt overlay it.
Making a motion to
I'll
accept
second it.
asphalt overlay, and Jason seconded it. All right, roll call vote, please.
Shrek?
Yes.
Bauer?
yes.
Atherton?
Yes.
Dirks?
Yes.
Bornero?
Yes.
Seaman?
No,
Motion's approved 5-1.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, there weren't very many committee reports, I'm sure you read that already. So, comments from the mayor, I have one, and it's gonna be very brief, I promise. And that is, we just went through a 4th of July with, as expected, fireworks that we had in town, and I will say, and I want, the first person that said something to me a letter, and it said, "I'm no fun hater, but." And so I would like to remind people that do use fireworks of two things that is a concern about it. And the one is pets, and maybe a bigger one is I have had people bring up to me that they have PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yep.
And that's something to consider when you have, when you decide to light fireworks in town, so.
Well, it's also illegal to light fireworks off in
I
town.
forgot to even remind you of that. The fine is $200. It is also illegal, but I thought everyone understood that already.
Well,
And there is a fine for that, so, I know we're after the fact.
Now you're a
but
fun hater.
They're still out there, so,
How
that's
many
my
calls-
little reminder to the
How many
public.
calls you get?
On the actual 4th of July, 1920, I can't remember the exact number of calls. That was just on the 4th, that from about 9 PM to midnight.
Okay.
Total this month, probably double that.
All right, any comments from the city council? And the city manager?
one comment, we will go to Des Moines tomorrow at 3 o'clock and present to the Iowa Economic Development Authority for the Thriving Communities designation. That's happening tomorrow, so wish us luck.
It's not luck, it's skill this time.
I hope so.
I hope so too. All right, motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
I'll go with Tom for
Second.
as tradition, since MJ was second. Roll call vote, please.
Dirks,
Yes.
Seaman,
Yes.
Monero.
Yes.
Bauer.
Yes.
Shrek. Yes. Atherton.
He said yes.
Yes.
Yeah, right, okay.
Jump in there. I'm sorry, you're cutting out a little bit. I apologize.